Sanmanani Dumalanga Makaya, welcome to another episode of What Keeps You Going with the Mjalis.
Yeah.
My name is Tulisila Matawaga Mjali, and Njayelo Angami Ngedwa. Ngahamba no Mr. Author,
Mutaram Jan.
the one and only.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you guys once again for joining us. If you're new here, please do not forget to click the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, guys.
Yeah.
Click on the subscribe button, comment, like, share, and yeah. And if you are a returning Sabi, thank you so much for ever gracing us. I know there are people who are always like watching. Thank you so much, guys, for continuous support. Please do spread the word. Really? It's probably the weather, guys.
Oh, we haven't been here in a while.
And also maybe that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think as time goes on.
It's time.
Yeah. So today we're gonna be having a reflection, right, on one of the other guests that we've had at the show.
Yeah.
So if you do follow the show, you should know the drill. Should I? Okay. So if you're new here, guys, basically we would have a guest who would come to the studio and tell their story, and then later on, Mina no Baba, we have reflections on what the guest had to say and what we think we might have learned from their story.
Yeah.
So last week we had Usisi Upalisa Wakangambule, who joined us in studio, and she had her life story to share. So Mina, I'm not very good at storytelling, so that's why I always throw it to Ubaba. It's as if it's just a summary, but guys, you should go back and find the episode, so that you would have a gist of what we are talking about.
Because now they didn't recap, split this card, split the data, So we want.
But I think a recap is important for those people. Sometimes you're like in a hurry and send another video by chance, and you're like, okay, this looks interesting. Let me see. So because if you just get into it and then you're talking about Palisa, and now people are confused. So yeah.
But before I would recap, right? Guys, it's an announcement, right? I think I have to share it now. We would a minute before the ball. My Bible is 2 minutes before the ball. 1 minute before the ball. I thought. First one, man. Go to work.
The book is chat.
Available bargain books. Bargain books Secunda Mall. Yeah. If you get Secunda Mall, if you send Bumalanga, guys, Secunda Mall and get yourself a copy. Small bargain books at Secunda Mall, which is recognized and buy copies from us. Shout out to them. Yeah. But yeah, those are the good news.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
We are elated, guys. Like for me, it's such a big deal because we know it's most authors struggle to get their books, in the bookstores. So I do not take it for granted. I'm really proud of you, babe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we know right? But so share must see now after the vows.
Yes.
With them pop-ups, know. So yeah, uNkulunkulu nje uyaziveza nje uNkulunkulu ethembekile.
Escalating.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, higher and higher we're getting there.
Yebo.
Yeah.
Maninga akhona amanye
more advice, yes, that we
but I think so ntshela mase kwenzekile. Then sintshela ukuthi when you can tune in, when you can watch it.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically we are your celebrities in the making. So yeah, sine uPalisa, guys. uPalisa wakambule ubase okwamanje ilokhunjana ilimpompo neMpumalanga, right? Because uyakhuluma ngazo lezo zinto lezo. I think umuntu passionate ukuthi which side belongs to where I'm told which side belongs to Mpumalanga and stuff like that. I'm told. But yeah, uPalisa ubuya from humble beginnings, a family very warm, full of warmth and loving, young told. Entrepreneur from a very young age. From a very young age, just had that spirit, would be the society type of thing. Or stock fair, stock fair as a primary, where they contribute a certain amount, and then by the end of whichever term, abanikeza imali yabo sethe ukuzala.
Also, basically, they were saving imali kuye bekaphatha imali.
Yeah, beka-minister nje we-finance. Yeah.
Bayabizelwe le nto.
But fast forward, uPalisa adulthood, umitha isithanda sakhe, kuba mnandi, you know, bayashada, husband yakhe, kube mnandi nje for like 8 years, yangithola. Husband yakhe beyisebenza kahle, so yamphutha through different courses, wathola different qualifications, inganankinga ngithola. I think they were married for 8 years. And then, but things started changing when Palisa now got an opportunity, you know. Wavula isalon Carlton Center bekunabo office abo Transnet nabo SAS bebalapha, so ibhizinisi yakhe salon behamba kahle. And then wathola icontact in one of ama clients akhe. Yamtshela ukuthi nazi Palisa kunama tender man, you know. Register company naso kusiza kunama tender ongathola iTransnet, and ngithola, and as yonke into mabathi yonke into vele uNkulunkulu in a purpose. Lama degrees bekawenza hleli. Now bese wasebenza because wenza engineering and stuff like that. So now mase kathola le tender as Transnet. Uyabo test to bengisifunde esikoleni mos. So bekayenza zonke izinto efficiently, yangithola. Beka good at what she does, and then iTransnet be happy. Yamupha more jobs to do. You know, I think the one guy yamkhuphulile 19 million. I told him 19 meter. And then I think that's when Craig started to show him Shadway. So the husband guy being in king, but now Opalisa is earning more than him. Now the guy starts being violent, you know. Now the guy we are shit. Now in Piloga Lokunja says paying Palisa, right? To an extent ukuthi kumele kubizwe amaphoyisa at times. I think the last event la khona kube khona le abayogcina, it's when the guy bekangaziphalisa nokuthi unesibhamu. The husband bekamshaya endlini, abaneighbors wafonela ifamily yaze yafika, but bekhiwe amdubula, right in the head, but was survive ngomusa kaNkulunkulu. The bullet is still inside.
As we speak.
Wow. Yeah, all right. Kwenzeka lokho kwenzakalayo, amaphoyisa afike aboshwe ke ihusband ekuboshweni kwayo umndeni intervene, you cannot bophisa ubaba abantwana nani agcine naye vele adrop ama charge. So I thought, okay, it's fine because I'll be moving to Mpumalanga, so it's fine. So I drop ama charge. I'm follow husband even then. I'm phone nje. But he couldn't find her. So before he can even find her whereabouts, because her husband behamba kuma workplaces imfuni iphethe isibhamu ubhalisa. So those people called amaphoyisa and then bambamba angagenzi anything. So they were boshwa.
Okay.
So yaphela lapho ke.
So that's how her first marriage came to an end.
Yeah. Yaphela kanjalo. Fika ke second guy uthi nayo Palisa makamitha bekangekho in love with the guy, bekafuna i-protection from him.
Oh, based on what the previous husband had done.
Yeah, okay. Just protection nje shoot the ex-husband if ungenza anything emthole anomunye umuntu yathola. And nakhona lapho kwaba right bashada, had 2 more kids as well, so senganabantwana abayi4, you know. And then izinto zakhe 2009 zaqala ungahambi kahle business wise, aluza ama property, aluza ama business, you know. And then makwenzeka lokho the husband anaye no, I mean didn't sign up for this. My man must say pele now I'm out. Then that's when she fell into depression. That's when just izinto nje bezingahambi kahle. You know, seka move from house to house, yabangani ended up those trauma centers and stuff and all. Kulapho kwazi meet the third husband who was a doctor, right? Akhuluma naye uthi no yini ngiphethe because of right nana. So bakamtshela story sakhe uthi okay, actually it's your thoughts that are making you sick. Yeah, at all. So the husband was like, I'm gonna be the knight in your shining armor, you know. took her in, was their cousin. Uzokwenza ube ulo muntu bowubuye before. And ave as my sakala be yo kuyi fairy tale. Yangithola this doctor wamthatha nabantwana bakhe boyi4 bawohlala bonke.
Wow.
But somehow along the way, you know, it's just too good to be true. But if it's too good to be true, it is. Yangithola. So the guy waba obsessive bese kabakhiyela endlini bangasaphumi.
Oh no.
Yebo. So but makhamba isikhathi waphuma ke nalapho wabuyela kubo endlini la khulele khona ke. Wakhane ke aqala ke azakha. Aqala ke asiza ku community yangithola and then maka kuma business forum esowethu kulapho ke sebamthatha khona maka siza abantu naye tholakala ukuthi uyasizakala personally, you know. Waba ulomuntu azawuye today. Sika ku mining, you know, business forum eyasesowethu. So useyintweni eziningi nje manje ubuyile nje emandleni. I think umama even abantwana bakhe would be proud of today. So iso lesi story ke sikapalisa. So yeah, what did you learn from Mr. Sak?
Sure. Wow. So okay, if there's one thing that I took and which I think she mentioned is like when I watched the video. Ukulme about, you know, us as partners expecting our partners to be like our parents. You know, because I remember she mentioned she sort of like was looking for somebody who had similar characteristics as, you know, her father from the husband, you know. And I think that's the one mistake that we often make as, you know, couples. Like we go into the marriage with expectations or even when you're looking for a partner, generally you just have this thing, you always, you know what, mina ngiyazi baba mbuti, you know, bekamphethe kanjani umamami, you know. So ideally I would like to have this kind of, you know, of a partner. But then we forget we are raised from different households, you know. So if I come into the marriage, I come as this, and obviously I'm influenced by where I come from, right? And you also come from wherever with, you know. So I think along the way, sibaname clashes because of that. If I find now if I grew up seeing my mom being bought flowers every month, right? And I find with you don't do that, you know, it becomes a problem and it causes, you know, so many clashes. So I think one thing that we should learn is to learn each other and not have certain expectations of what a man should be like if your partner, what a man should be or a woman should be like if your partner, you know, does not have those things that you grew up seeing, you know. So that's the one thing that actually stood out for me, because that also had an impact in their marriage, because there were certain expectations from her, and it caused clashes.
And I don't think there's necessarily something wrong with that, right?
With what?
Having those expectations in a sense of routine. That's what you know. So you cannot move from an unknown place, you know. So in those years, when you get into a relationship, you move from the know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's if ngazi intenhle ukuthi baba mubuyedlini every day on time, open about my finances. Those are actually good things. 100%. You understand? Those are actually good things you can expect. So at least abazali bakho bakunikeza ngathi.
So they're paving a way.
Yeah, in a way, bakupha is starting point. So what to look for. Mawufuna umuntu oyipartner yakho. Understand? So they give you that to an extent.
So that's on the positive side.
Yeah, right. So now, when those things happen, right? I think one thing is now relationship. As much as you have that, you must understand there's a lot of unlearning you have to do. Right? Sure. As much as that was the premise from which usuka from yon, but Mawuhlangana and a partner is a totally different thing. Yes, you can want bits of what your parents had, and there's nothing wrong with that, because if you were born I heard and you saw it until it So you understand this thing works.
Yep.
But in doing that, don't try to put someone in a box. There's this rigid box now they have to follow for them to be husband. Because you find with their husband when ezokwenza kahle, the husband le ezokwenza ukhule, ezokwenza maximize potential yakho. It's not your husband, it's similar to your dad. Something different, right? And another thing, we don't know our parents. How are they in terms of being partners? You know your parents
as
from
parents.
Being a father, from being a man. You don't know her, and there's something our parents they do, right? Your dad won't come to you actually how you know danger or your husband danger towards your mom, because there are things that you shouldn't carry as a child.
Yes.
So now when it was Babako from a father perspective or man from a husband's perspective, so now sometimes you take that view unrealistic, that view one-sided, and then you expect a husband to keep a certain way, only to find actually you might be shocked at the things your father used to do. You understand? To her.
Yeah. And I remember once had this discussion. Even when they're having fights or arguments, right? We don't see them sometimes. You're not privy because most of the time, or they wait for you guys to go to school, or if you're not in the house, or whatever the case may be. But in most cases, you are not exposed to their fights and all that.
Yeah. Even when they talk to you, they have a very high tolerance level towards you, and they have understanding. For example, don't you understand about teenager when you do bad stuff? Do you understand?
Because they've been there themselves.
Also, they will reprimand you, I'm told, but they won't be harsh because they know what is stage, right? So when you in your head you tell about when you went to treat but you forget about they understand they understand good no certain things also understand. So I'm not as harsh whenever I kuluma now. But now I'm on a party partner picture
Sure. And that is mostly hard to swallow.
Yeah, I understand. So I think a problem maybe now ukuthi masesifike emshadweni sitshele ukuthi whatever we've learned from our parents is the truth. There's a lot of truths in every situation at school. It doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi lakho is the one. You understand? So be open to that. Actually, there's another version, your husband, there's another version of a man, that will actually blow you away. That will actually make your relationship even bland.
Sure.
So yeah.
Wow. Do you have any points?
I think one point I can make from just a recap is that thing which we don't understand, we don't take seriously what we allow into our minds, the thoughts that we entertain in zethu. Upalisa uye wagula sevele ahamba from doctor to doctor bangazi ukuthi yini wrong, and there was nothing wrong with her. It's just that her thoughts were making her sick. Into esithatha kancane as people would. Guys, it doesn't mean more go through a tough time when you go through a difficult situation, or even your thoughts have to be in that situation. You can get joy from thinking isn't as positive. You can think about positive thoughts outside of this situation.
That's true, but it's not as easy as
it's not.
So you put it.
People have to learn to control their thoughts. They have to learn to be in charge. Because now, if I can't go in charge of your thoughts, you're not in charge of your life. It's your subconscious mind now, a controller. Because what habits or what your body does, your body is your subconscious mind. Now, what subconscious mind is when your body now, in the say by habits, when your body has mastered something. So good. That's why we find umuntu athi ngifike endlini ngihambe ngidake I don't know ngifike kanjani endlini because I don't remember indlela. But your body, because subconscious mind, iyazi about my ready. Noma wena ungekho conscious of it, your body will do that. So now sekele ingqondo is leading instead of our minds actually leading it. So in thing you realize that your thoughts can make you sick. If your thought can make you sick, because your thoughts angakwenza ube what's the opposite of that? Over healthy.
Be healthy and
Yeah,
happy,
understand.
yes.
So now be conscious of your thoughts, especially when you are in dark situations. Be conscious of what you are allowing. It's fine, we understand that's not money rent this month end. And that's when plan. Right? But now most thought or make a situation different. You don't have money rent. So yes, factually you don't have money rent, but does that mean menukabang is horrific in your head? You don't have to. You can create any beautiful story in your head. You can create a romantic story in your head. Yeah, and as much as you go through that. Yeah. So we must learn to control our thoughts. I think that's one thing.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting, but it's like I said, I find that to be very hard. Like sometimes it's when you are in a dark place, guys, I don't know if I'm the only one, but it's really hard for you to just get yourself out of that dark place. And yeah, but also I remember like when we were having a chat, I think it was yesterday or day before, I can't remember.
Yeah.
So we were watching a show, right? I was actually about to watch a show, and there was like the two ladies who were being interviewed about having car accidents and how they actually ended up being disabled from that. And I remember you saying, why do you want to do that to yourself? And at first I didn't understand what you meant. And I was like, but I want to hear the story, you know? And what came out for me was that, but if you do that, then you are adding more anxiety, right, to yourself. So I think also it boils down to what you expose yourself to, like what you watch, what you listen to, sometimes even the company you keep yourself, you know, it's not only just you decide with only your thoughts, but also what you actually watch. Because I thought about it after you said it, like, don't do that to yourself, because I know probably after watching that show, chances were that every time I get behind the wheel, subconsciously it was going to be there somewhere, you know, in my mind. Remember those two ladies, they said 1, 2 and 3, you know. So I think it's also important for us to like to see what is really worth, you know, taking sometimes, and isn't this affect your you know. So yeah, I think I have to agree with you. Sometimes it's important to protect our peace.
Protect what you let in your space, what you let in your head. I don't watch it as negative. And unless someone and then but my on social media, right? If umuntu uzokhuluma isitori sakho ubamenza nana, I don't entertain those things. Especially mangizovuka ekuseni, understand? Mangizongena social media ngena kuma messages nana, but I won't go with if kune topic abayidiscussa engiyibona ukuthi le isiphelo sayo asikho right. Yeah, I'm told. Isn't this fana nabo ufelani? I don't watch those things. Those things are SARS. Tina, we are entertaining, we are having siyabukela sizwito zabantu. Kanti awazi ukuthi those things, those allow in ziba embedded, they contribute to anxiety. And into abangayazi abantu ukuthi ingqondo yakho your body cannot tell when into iyenzeka physical noma ucabanga ngayo. It reacted to that.
The stress is
that's the dangerous thing about the body. When ungacabanga ngento uthi I'm just thinking about it, uyangithola.
Can you break it down for us? I remember you were telling me about this, and I want people to hear this point.
Yeah.
Can you break it down for us bit by bit? Like take it from, just give an example of how that works.
Okay.
So like for example, you go through a trauma, right? You experience a trauma, right? That's what you say. When you're experiencing a trauma, fine, let's say
okay, I said the guys. With simpler terms, terms of shot.
Okay.
Right? Actually, this is not even my idea with Dr. Dispenza, right?
Okay.
If you Google Dr. Dispenza, you'll find a neuroscientist or right? So now, in that show, right? For example, we in Gondako shock, stress, right? That's how your body reacts to things. Yes. You understand? But that stress shouldn't last. Ibody ayikho capacity yokuthi deal naleso stress on a daily basis, right? Asithi your partner cheats on you,
okay,
yakushoka leyo nto leyo, yakustressa, umzimba wakho go through ama-emotions, uyagula wenzani, yangithola. But now going forward, if now you entertain that thought food, your mind, as much as it's past, into that actually talk about incident, right? But when you're still thinking about it 12 months down the line, when you tabang leyo leyo, your body will go through the same shock it went through when you discovered leyo leyo. As much as I science physical.
Yes.
So now but body cannot tell when something is actually happening or when you're thinking about it. It goes through the same shock. So now when the body goes through the same shock, less of stress less when every day people they are relief from this stress. You're getting that stress. So yenza lento to your body. Yenza to ama chemicals of that body. Yabona bathi animal, if you go through an accident, it go through that accident, even in shock, but now move on. So they can live. Tina, we continue exposing our body to even they are that die. But when you continue exposing your body to that event to an extent
yes,
physically.
Yeah, I found that very
because
because you end up being sick physically. That is why I think we would get cases of people who are in psychiatric wards and.
But maba business but only 2% emhlabeni, only 2% banokugula with genetic. Yayibona lento ukuthi
only 2%.
2%.
Wow.
Ukuthi lento ungayitrace back ukuthi no, umama wakho or ubaba wakho or ugogo wakho bekane diabetes.
And then the rest?
But the rest is us. It's us, the stress ama-body go through on a daily basis. Singekho aware. Hence ngisho guys guide your thoughts. Guide izinto ocabanga ngazo because umosha umzimba wakho. Ufikela ukugula okungekho because of izinto ocabanga ngazo in your head.
And I think which is also one of the reasons why there is now there's more awareness around mental health, which is something I feel like we've been neglecting for a long time. We take care of our bodies, we want summer bodies, we want six packs, we'd like to look good on the outer, but what's happening inside? And I think it's time for us to actually look into that. Mental health is really important, guys. We need to take care of our mental states.
In the Oliver in the past, right? When your partner, for example, cheats on you, right? So now the way forward for you, or go to protect from that thing happening again. And how do you protect yourself from that?
Keep on.
You keep on okay. For me, good thing as I experience the same pain should it happen. Maybe young told. Can there's in those far now we're living in the past. Life is not based good future or it's now
and you actually end up not even enjoying what you have now.
You will never enjoy because now England is looking in negative state. Attract other negative thoughts, and you actually find comfort in that because now they change. Too. So now I'm trusting, I'm loving. So now umzimba so ujwayele wena ukuthi every day uyavuka is a new day, but when it's operator in the past it's not the new you because some thoughts are stem from fear. Yonke izinto yenza uyacabanga ukuthi mara mangabe yenza lokhu mangayenza lokhu uyathola ugcina usafara wena uyathola. So ikubalulekile guys, no matter what we go through, don't keep our negative thoughts because our changing next in a relationship, in a space so why entertain?
No, I think that's something that you really need to work on, and kudos on that point. And I think is this the last point?
Well,
yes.
I think
if you have something else, I don't
besides HPV, right? Because she was exposed to that
on 2 marriages, no?
but I think
because it's the one that landed her in hospital where she got shot and the bullet is still inside. So imagine that, guys. I don't know, my relationships, guys, where people just decide they're gonna play God with other people's lives. Why? If you're tired of to let them go. I think it's as simple as that.
I think we should need to learn to seek help. Sometimes which is one thing. Sometimes I don't agree now with giving up is the way. You understand? If a situation that's through one, through one employee affect in a certain way. So I should be patient enough as long as lento leyo ingabeki impilo zethu at risk ukuthi sidile ngaleyo nto leyo. Like husband kaPalisa be right, supportive and all those things. But now akazanga, he didn't know how to deal with a woman who earns more than him.
That was actually going to be my next point before you got into
Yeah.
it, but I'll just slip it
Yeah.
in now that we're here.
Yeah. But
you
still
know
got
the-
there, right?
okay, sorry.
Ukuthi akaza encounter that. Akazi ukuthi umzimba wakho udile ngayo kanjani. Akazi ukuthi consciousness yakhe idila ngayo kanjani.
But that does,
Yeah,
this does not justify.
Yes,
doing
it
what
doesn't
you do.
justify. So, before sifika ku the violent part of it, ngifuna ukuthi siqale sifike la ukuthi there are certain things ozogo through zona nomuntu wakho. Niqale kahle le 8 years bekumnandi yakutshela ube baphathane kahle. You understand ukuthi that person makaba nalowo mqondo, you find ukuthi naye akazi ukuthi adile kanjani, uyangithola. So that person makwenzeka lokho asayihabara those thoughts, angithi asikafiki ukuthi waba violent, just ukuthi yena angabe comfortable nokuthi iphanda ena more than him. You understand? Ukuthi ijeni engasizana ngayo, should you encounter something now similar where now njengam now, right, we haven't encountered that where you like earning way more than me. Manje siyaphilosophise kumnandi sikhuluma ngayo, but I haven't experienced that. So when experience leyo nto and you feel mina act a certain way towards you, it's not that ngumuntu omumbi. Maybe you find good now I don't know how to deal with that situation. Now you don't know how to deal with that situation when you're earning more than me. Maybe that's where we can go and seek help. But now umgamaka earn more, and this is how I feel about this. Be honest, be vulnerable in that space. Maybe we can how to deal with that thing, right? That's one part of it. And then there's this part in my told, right, where umuntu go to an extent ukuthi azafuna ukubulala a partner yakhe for that. That part I will never get. That part is that evil side yabantu ekwenza ubone ukuthi ayisiyilwane ngempela. More than that, ngiba shocked at our families. There's something for every action you guys, there must be stresses. You must be punished for every bad, because if you don't get punished, uzobona kanjani wrong.
Yes.
You understand? So now for my family member to go to police and ask him to my charges, the muntu could have taken a life, literally.
It's absurd.
You understand? Now, if ubaba, yes, abantwana bakhona, funeka afunde nabantwana kufuneka bazi ukuthi ubaba wenze lokho lekho akwenziwe, hence ubaba uye jail for 15 years because of that. So now lento ukuthi sibeke ukuprovide, sibeke imali phambili. No, and I can understand as our families ukuthi njani. Sometimes I think psychological come that wrong. Ngama families ukuthi abantu bavume nje ukuthi umuntu o release kanti yibe kumele baphushe ukuthi no makoti yes indodana yethu umntwana esamthayida but makamele athi nje kuhlala nje ejele because lento ayenzile like umsangano nje. How do you do that? You should do just fazana. Yeah.
So just to encapsulate everything, I was coming to the point that you made about partners who don't take well to their partner's success. I was actually about to point that because in her first marriage, that was the issue, right? So you mentioned it's probably because he didn't know how to deal with that situation. But what does that say about his own insecurities? Don't you think it has everything to do with him being insecure?
It can be that. But does that make you a bad person?
So
or it makes you
this
a
takes
normal
me
person?
back to my point, which I always make, Uguti. I feel like, and I hope with the generation a major, let's take Indabaye counseling seriously, individual counseling before we get into marriages, so that we don't have these kind of problems. Because I mean, if we're enough, I mean, if you're earning more than me, for example, it shouldn't be a reflection, a negative on my side. So I don't get why it should be an issue if the wife is earning more. So if you were self-sufficient,
but we operate within a system, right?
Yes,
you must
I get
understand,
that.
we don't operate in a vacuum. The way
I
she tell
do get
corner,
that.
we take our cues from
But
society.
also you are married. Why you be in a competition with your partner? Aren't you guys at one? Your success should be my success. Whatever you're achieving, I should be happy for you. So what does that even say about you as a partner? Oh, it's, okay, so now we are competing. It's either that or now you're just feeding off of something which I don't know. You're uba happy every time your partner depends on you. It probably does something for your ego or whatever the case may be, but I really don't get the competition in the marriage, because whatever you do, whatever you achieve, I take that as me, and it should be vice versa.
Yeah, but the thing is, sure, with idea is really better. But when that doesn't happen, doesn't necessarily mean good. There's something a bad.
There is.
It makes them
There
normal.
is. Hence, you saying they need to go back and have and look
Yes,
at themselves.
it doesn't make them bad. It makes them normal. Mangiba jealous of my neighbor's success. It doesn't make me bad.
This is not even a case of a neighbor.
No,
this is your partner.
Now let me use the context there, right? Or now we exist within a certain context, kuma relationship with. Context in terms of zenza, right? Because must be something in my relationship and it teaches out. Guys, angazi yonke into mangqala ukufana nawo. I don't know everything. So akazi yonke acting yenza intentional. Akazi yonke acting yenza ngiye understand. So into in short, if I grew up in a setup where a husband is expected to act within certain guidelines, within certain rules.
Yeah.
Now lama rules must washintsha. Before you figure nakuwe, now I don't understand those rules because I grew up esontweni bathi indoda provider. Ekhaya bathi indoda provider. Emsebenzini bathi indoda provider. Ufunda indaba bathi indoda kumele be provider. Now must change between mina nawe. And akuso umuntu ofundayo mhlambe who can be well versed on these issues. Iba issue and not necessarily because when you king, it's because I was. And we should help you educate. So in terms of good, we shouldn't be every time umuntu akho ayenza into ongayiqondi when your first thought ukuthi there's an intentional bad behind them.
No, I think you get that thought if it leads now to a situation kabalisa where manje life yakhe beyisengcupheni because of this man on ama insecurity.
Yiko bengithi assist discuss it point by point. Singayilink to that.
Okay.
It's okay. When uba right, when uba asituba more than what I am now, right? Ukuthi now senimele ngiphile under uthulisile. Uyathola access ukuthi uthulisile kaMotha kaMtshali. So uMotha kaMtshali kathulisile. That will be something new to me. Something I've never experienced, something I never thought would happen. But masayenzeka, when I have those things, which I'm not saying I will have, but when you have those things, your first thought shouldn't be ukuthi umuntu ophethayo.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. Can we also agree with most of the time it's men who have these issues?
Because as men who are loved when they have something, men are not loved with society unconditional. That's the thing. That's the basis we start from. I think that unconditional. Khuluma nomuntu wesifazane nawe umbuza ukuthi ina ifuna endodeni. Yokuqala ezoba khona
Thando, we're living in 2021.
No,
it's 2021.
Yes.
We want love, we want respect, we want appreciation. We don't want your money, we are self-sufficient. Can we move on from that? No, not in 2021, babe. I really disagree. No, I disagree. Not in 2021. Women are looking for something else. No, they look at...
Wait.
But now... Can I finish?
Yes, point is
but that is the cherry on top now. Now having
cherry
a
on
man,
top, that...
Yes.
It's not the man.
If I have my things... Why would I want a man? Onalo kunjani?
By the ama women who have their things. Phela sikhuluma manje bafuna impatha early 20s, late 20s. Sisazama kuya somewhere. By few ama women at that stage about everything. So they make it a point to loyo muntu kumele abe nemali abazuzenzela something. That mean even kakhulu ama women are independent ke bazokutshela ukuthi no, they must bring something to the table. Where sabangekho independent ke la abafuna ukuthi ube nemoto abafuna ube nendlaka abafuna ube so I don't understand more.
But it's the same thing as men asking now women to bring something to the table. So I don't know which men you are talking to. You are talking about Abama provider.
I took Jenny.
Man, let's speak in the context of man where we are, because most men understand you would say I do not do indota must. Sisi, what do you bring on the table yourself?
Yeah.
So 50-50.
No, it's,
No,
amadoda
it
do
is
that.
50-50.
Whenever ngibona ku social media is men retaliating to that. But now,
amadoda manje ozothi ukhuluma naye angeke nje abe interested in what you are doing.
Okay,
what
so.
you have
In
achieved. In 2021.
Asenza le example. Bayingakho amalokisho waziyo, ne? Be it umjondolo or ilokishi where you see umuntu wesifazana onemoto ahamba uyo-check indoda. Awutshele la uzibona khona.
It happens. Can you
Umuntu wesifazana onemoto.
Can you think about the women that we have interviewed, right?
Yeah.
Can you think about them? Most of them were providers.
Ubani.
Think of.
It's only Uvianto where that was the case.
And we also had. Was it only her? Okay, but that's beside the
point. That's the point. That's not beside. That's the point. Because if that was besides the point, it's ubalabaning. So
guys,
can
you please come to.
So if I to put idea to move our standard where sonke sichana equal good. If ngifuna umuntu onemali endodeni umuntu wesifazane, that should be the standard as well, ideally. But no,
not ideally, that's what's happening now.
That's not what's happening now.
It is.
Yinto ukutshela ukuthi mangaya emalokishini now uye emikhukhwini uthola abantu beyimoto bazocheck amantombazane angana next emalokishini uthola abantu lokhunjana azocheck. Wait, I imagine we shouldn't take exception and make it the norm. The problem is overlap. I shouldn't take exception with. Yes, there are women who do that, but that's not the norm. The norm what you will find indoda yiyo. And among our relationship now, abantu abaningi abashadile ukuthi manhlangana nize niyoshada, ubani beka provide. Ubani put someone through school. You will find most of the time is men. And even now that's the expectation. So mina ngisuka from lapha angisuka from the standard as ideal. So from the standard as khona manje men are expected to have money. Now.
Not anymore. Well,
yeah, totally.
Let's agree to disagree.
No, factual. Mina ngithola into factual. Not ideal, into factual into abayifunayo. Ayikho umuntu wesifazane othi as long as I'm tired, I'm told that's enough. No.
Well, I am that woman.
Unam.
And I believe this.
No, unam. So
what does that mean?
Because you are out of that argument.
What do you mean?
Because you have me,
but
so
I'm still self-sufficient without you. That doesn't mean just because now then if you leave, then so calling it my life. No, I can still. In the sense of more funny partner. When you cannot talk about that, you cannot discuss that. You know, no, but I'm saying, imagine how many women get married gay because we're married.
Yeah, when I
married who I have friends, who are still single, but. Especially with ages, you would hardly hear them say, I'm looking for indodenimali, I'm looking for, it's just, friend, I want to create a family, I need a stability in my life, I need to find a guy, but it's really about money.
Okay, I see ubangani bakho nebayingakho abadate.
I'm speaking my friends.
Yes,
I'm married, are single.
Yes.
When they're looking for a guy, abafuni umuntu ozomnakekela financially. They just want umuntu ozomnakekela emotionally.
Yes, I get that part. But ngitshele angibadating as much as basing.
Of course, they've dated.
So, kulaba abadating khona kwamdate ongasebenzi.
Well, I can't remember.
If bekakhona bozokhumbula, but it's convenient now because sikule argument there. So nakubangani bakho abantu ababadate probably umuntu bekanemoto and a stable job. But mina mangakutshela amajiti engiwaziyo asingi now ungibuze ngabantu ababadate. Date abantu abaningi abangasebenzi. Date abantu abaningi abangana imoto.
But I think problem because you guys are still holding yourself to that past standard. So what's can I?
Oh, it?
Yes, it's your problem. It's your guys' problem because you are holding yourselves to that standard. The fact so what's indota must provide, indota must be this and that. Whereas girls are like, honey, I can do.
But which girls?
I just told you about my friends.
Men are in that position now because
they're putting pressure on themselves. Don't blame women. Don't blame women. Don't blame women.
Women perpetuate that.
No.
Society perpetuates that. You on a man, yabona usisa ngandlula ngana next la strategy. Angana next.
And whose fault is that?
Was an example.
And whose fault is that? Because that's why I need to
expectations.
Okay, but where are we now? We are in 2021, right? I circle in the 1900s where vele it was expected when as in Dr. 1, 2 and 3. When as in Dr. Man in 2021, you still have that mentality yourself.
Yeah.
It's you guys who are putting that pressure on yourselves. And the mean and the ego also, it plays a huge role in that. Because this thing you say, I cannot be with a woman in I cannot be with a woman next that I'm bringing to the table. So it's your guys' fault. Stop blaming the society, stop blaming the women. It is what it is, guys. I believe because we are in 2021, times have changed. Men are still in the past. And they think it's women who are putting those kind of pressures on them.
I think it's a problem about now and other feminists out there, right? But in a state of delusion, right?
Oh!
In a sense, guys, you cannot
really now?
You cannot base argument in an ideal ground. No, see, place in a realistic. So I go on marriages right? And say, when the husband lost the job, how was the relationship? When the wife was the one who lost the job, think like it, right?
But I know.
Think like it, right? How was the relationship?
I can't believe you.
There's a different.
I can't believe
now. We can't.
If you go into marriages where a woman is a provider, then there's a problem. I know of people who've been married for like 10 plus years, and the woman has been a provider in that relationship.
Yes.
So
those are few.
No, it's not few.
I think of you.
I think now where we are, it's becoming a norm to say, there's absolutely nothing wrong. I think this thing takes us back to the point of being if you see each other as equals and if you see each other as partners, if you want to build together, there shouldn't be lesos in the marriage, because we are here to build. What is yours is mine, what is mine is yours. Whatever that I achieve shouldn't reflect bad on you.
Yeah.
You understand? So now if me providing it shouldn't be saying anything bad in our way. Right? So there's nothing wrong with that. And singahamba shy 20 years. Uyimothwele umndeni financially.
Umuntu esifazana ufuna house husband owamuzakhuluma nje.
Yabona manje we have more wait.
Nititshela umuntu esifazana omkhumbulayo.
Okay, don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. But I'm saying to you, there are more female CEOs manje. Right? And they hardly have time to, I think everything and there has been a stat that's proven that, and I think we were watching some podcast. I can't remember what it was all about, but I think it was with Jordan. No.
Let's not go to stats.
No, wait.
You never win that
wait.
Yeah.
Jordan Peterson mentioned something of that nature. Now it's actually men who suffer more than women. Like now, it's more men who are unemployed now because our legislation has changed. Everything favors men now. I mean, women now.
Yeah.
You understand? Where we are currently, we are getting there. I'm not saying we are there necessarily, but we are getting there where now it's normal to have a female CEO. It's normal to have women in higher places. So better chances are we are going that route where we're gonna find women it's still happening. We're gonna find
women.
women.
Two different things. We are going and being there. It's a simple question. Intombazana uyaziyo ngoba you do on Instagram, you do follow ama celebrities or to find house husband, right? Also inakekela. And then two, ubani umuntu omaziyo kaBlack athi guys mina umuntu wami ngiyamprovidela ngathi angahlala njalo like ubani omaziyo. Angithi uthi normal leyo nto leyo.
This topic is not going to end, guys.
No.
And
this is YouTube, so you can have a long content.
No, but unnecessarily.
How is it unnecessary?
No, I find it very unnecessary because now we
are you thinking latest school mamas don't break marriages?
That's why to me now, everything ends now in a favor amadoda by inking because men don't know how to deal with these things.
But
which affects.
For us, we'll see the solution. Let's take it step by step. There's one thing if you want it to be somewhere, it's another thing ukuthi izinto zikuphi at the present moment. So our discussion
No, but when almost you are disagreeing.
Our discussion shouldn't be ukuthi sifuna izinto zibe njani. Our discussion should be now izinto zinjani.
But no, you are disagreeing. So I won't put myself in a position whereby now I have to agree with you and your men's standards. Yes, I'm disagreeing with what you're saying, but now it seems like I practically the fact that I'm saying I totally disagree.
That's the thing. The argument should be based. Be it a master's, be it something factual.
But I was just about to quote what Jordan Peterson was saying about how the situation is currently,
UK.
and then you dismissed it.
UK.
Right? You dismissed.
But dismiss our team. Not at the point. Let's go to that point.
Yeah, I'm just like really.
Okay, no, because of his cards, right?
Really no, not even because of his cards. Because I see with this conversation it's off ramping, because now it's all about gender this, gender that, and men must be this because society is this and that.
I think this is a very important topic to discuss, because we have a lot of women about Kabanga Jengawe, right?
And there's nothing wrong.
And there's nothing wrong at all. But it doesn't mean that it's factual. It doesn't mean it's a norm. To use an example like 2 I3 of women being providers and then it is the norm, I think that's misleading. You understand? So you don't want to see khulume, because mas khuluma ngale zinto khona umuntu ongale kwe camera, khona umuntu obukele now ozothatha leyo nto leyo as a religion. And the world is not that. As much as I advocate, I'm a feminist at heart, I advocate for equal rights, I advocate for that. But I also know ukuthi last corner manje asikakafiki la sifuna ukuya khona, and that you konje bathi utopian world lesifuna ukuba asikho lapho. So it's important to acknowledge where we want to be, spin this acknowledge in reality. So now I understand. Namnyazi, as much as ngilapho, I understand ukuthi ngithandwa mang provider generally as a man who attractive ku society uthandwa. And that thing is in our primal nature. That's the problem. It's part of it. Then they have been drilled in for centuries in us, where a man has to go out there and provide. So now I think this will change in 50 years' time. I bet you, in the next 100 years, still is not my issue now. As much as Toba at a better place, but the last city when I was calling man, we're not there. It's not normal to women here providing king. It's not normal to unless most women are finding daughters or turn a pen, the rest that's a problem. But it's normal for most men to say, I want that part. Which are 7 that are sabians, and men will tell you, I'm not kidding. I can even put that person to school.
So whose problem is that?
Yeah?
That's my main concern.
It's society.
No, it's not.
Why is it society? Why is it society? These are the structures.
No, it's you as a man. You are putting that pressure on yourself.
Okay, you've been making
right? That pressure, yes. That point, and I think I've heard it over and over again. But I'm sorry, I'm in disagreement with that. Stop blaming the society. Stop blaming women for this. You putting yourself under that pressure, I need to find a woman who's on provider.
So you said
nobody told you.
Are you saying we have not born into that structure?
Especially now.
Are you saying that structure is created?
No.
Are you saying we create that structure?
You are putting that pressure on yourself.
Yes, babe. Are you saying we are not born into a structure, a certain daughter, it behave a certain way?
Not in 2021. Not where we are. Not where we are.
So ushukuthi sisalela kuphi?
Not where we are currently. That's where I'm saying. Not where we are currently. That might have ended kubokoko nabomkhulu bethu, but now last year I do not think ukusisilapho.
No, Michelle, that's corner.
Guys, if you are disagreeing with me, please do comment down below. And I know most women will see what I'm trying to say here, because I feel like a push narrative I want but we really need to come to a place where siba in touch na reality. That's
where you need to come to that place.
Oh wow! Me. So I'm the one who's not in touch.
Mina, I'm conscious of it as a born into zone, right? As much as the patriarchy, corner land affect a con, right? As a Mundus
really?
Yes, I'm expected to be protected.
By who? But you keep on saying I'm expected. By who?
Man, it's a structure.
But who is the structure? What is the structure?
Structure ngikhuluma ngama societal expectations ngama gender role.
But nobody puts a gun on your head and says Njali, be a provider. You know,
think about point lama, I'm trying to understand.
No,
think about the
hypocritical.
Yes,
Don't be
think about the
hypocritical.
problem.
Usebenza society.
Uzozangelakho right. Wonke umuntu born into a structure. You understand ukuthi uyini umfana because of that structure. You don't sit down and be like, "Mawuna 14 ukuthi yini umfana already also into it. It's because of that structure. I'm a protector now. Makwenzeka into endlini, do you call uGod or uvusa mina? Uvusa mina, right? Because it's society, that structure. So ukuthi indoda provide, indoda protector, indoda provide security. Is structure as born into sona. So now it would be misleading of us. City identity yakho negender role yakho, you make this thing up when yourself. Indoda wena now bathi love language yami is respect. Not ukuthi mina ngahlala ngacabanga ngathi love language yami is respect. Structure ebone into sona. Sithi indoda love language yami respect. So nami expectations yami iba ileyo. Structure ebone into sona sithi mina ufuna ngibhadala ilobolo. Akusiyimi enhleni ngathi hayi man, I think I should pay ilobolo. Those are the structures. So inkinga yami leyo ukuthi when you now ukilla those structures uthi ite sizenze lezo.
No, it's you because angisho sibonile ukuthi lawo ma structures ane gap phakathi ane patriarchy phakathi and
Seschool.
Yeah,
right? So why to
but it doesn't mean ukuthi right.
Yes.
It doesn't even justify. So that's why I mean, don't use a society or don't blame society where it benefits you. Don't be hypocritical ukuthi lapho when it benefits khona uzothi no society ngifundise this, society ngifundise this. But isn't when esifana ne, like for example, you can't say
benefit by provider. Because now mass unemployed, it kills us. We are linked to depression.
You allow it to kill you. Because you've allowed for the society to dictate where you go, what you must do, what you must
do. So it's not easy.
Also because see, you knew or you can see what is happening is not right. There's a gap somewhere, there's inequality somewhere that is happening, right? Why mean a provide
structures when on your side. I'm not according to you, the structure corner is our construct.
I didn't say it's your construct.
It's not a society.
No, I'm saying we might have found the structures there, but it doesn't necessarily mean we have to what's the word? It doesn't necessarily mean we have to buy into them, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
You know, because structures is zero. You know, and like patriarchy, for example, structure or a system wrong, it's in so we can't do something about it as women, right? Just like we are doing now, we are trying to penetrate industries are popular then and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so now when a man is expected to be a provider, what's wrong with changing the narrative and saying I can be a house husband, which I think there are men who are house husbanding very nicely, and a woman provider without any issues, without no problems whatsoever. So in back telling me when as you don't see yourself being that, but I can do wrong. For example, right? So when as right, you find when more peer pressure. Okay, right? So when you wouldn't want to even consider that. No, but when you say system, system whereas Utabang is moving with times. No, guys, just like a woman would do that. Okay, so shy this cat guys, my husband is coming back from work, I need to go prepare dinner. You know? So yin wrong with ushinje the narrative, ushinje the structure.
But when you say it's structureless, you mean says that.
I didn't say that. I'm saying
it's not a society.
No,
didn't say that. Okay, I'm not going to take this time, right?
You yourself are allowing to be impacted by the structure and a negative impact that is. You are allowing the structure to dictate to you how you should live your life. Whereas manje nasikona khona you are allowed to rebel against whatever the structure tells you to do. There's nothing wrong with
but
that.
There is
when
a
structure, it means when as a person, maybe you should speak for yourself. I'm still not comfortable enough to move on with times. Or mina ngisabambelele structure because it benefits in this way. Or mina structure singenzela 1 2 and 3. But don't blame a structure. Ne? Don't into my phone mina ukuthi ulibele ukuthi society it structure it in it wena uthini. Because uyayibona igap angisho khona ukuthi okay, structure nasi ngiyasibona.
So structure is not identity. Why umfazi wena?
Because God created me to be white. I don't know why.
In terms of role yakho, in terms of the way you understand the muntu wesifazane ukuthi uyithatha leyo.
From growing up, obviously.
Uyithatha leyo identity yakho. You understand ukuthi is structure sikuphe leyo identity. Mawuchinja izinto is not ukuthi hayi le iso izinto and that's why lama isha balekile because izinto serious to livelihood yabantu because it's not just ukuthi structure, it's your identity. Yabona namanje bangathiwa manje siyashintsha nawo makunezinto ezilungisa endlini ngithi mina angikhona makunomuntu othreatening space sethu hey mina baby ngiyasaba sengihada behind you khona into ezoyenza kuwe
no
angeke kwenzeke next kuwe ukuthi lo muntu engimazi ukuthi makunezinto ezenzakalayo ngiyamazi umuntu wami take control of situation makunomuntu othreatening safety yethu mangizwa anything ngaphandle umuntu wami uyaphuma. Are you telling me now realistically sikhuluma nabantu abasibhekile ukuthi leyo nto leyo uzothi umuntu wami indoda abantu bayifihle phansi kombhede you do that?
So you want me to be happy about the fact that you are going to go out there and risk your life and then I get to lose you now also. You see why people have alarm systems, why people have
yes, you can have alarm systems.
It's because
but there will be situations.
Can I finish my point? It's because
but in the point. So finish point out but the point. So in the show ukuthi kunama problems about the structure, right? But the structure esikhulele kuso identity yakho ikuso. Hence ngibale izinto engizibale into as little as ukuthi how mina now relate. As little ukuthi abona manje I'm a modern man, I do zonke izinto yalthola. But you will hardly find ukuthi maskini you ask me to do certain things ukuthi ngishintshe umntwana ngenzeni. Yalthola because you are like siyazenza sithi endlini. But in this environment, kunomamami, kunabantu basekhaya and then ucela mina ukuthi ngenze certain things. Awukwenzi nje khona into efikayo nawo uwe mawucabanga ukuthi athi ngicela ubaba kaSima achinje uThusane napkeni. Leyo nto leyifika kanjani. That's the challenge. It doesn't make it right but ungayenzi right kwayo. Ungayenzi right kwayo achaza ukuthi now istructure lesi esikhona. Akushintshe next. Exchanging that structure doesn't take a lot from you.
You know what I feel? I feel like you are for the structure because every time it's structure.
No, I'm not for the structure.
I feel like you are not opening up to the change as bakona within the structure because you want to go back to the structure and blaming the structure and blah blah blah.
But when I was a lot baby about when banenkinga identity when into thing provide the fault yomuntu. Wenza ngathi that is not linked ngendlela esikhule ngayo. Wenza ngani ngoba phela umuntu makaluza umsebenzi nawo sekuneqeda right. Mangiluza umsebenzi kunesenkinga identity. It's because mangikhula vele kuthiwa indoda provider. Mawuye esontweni angeke bakutshela indoda provider. They drip that into you. That thing becomes your identity. So now man come up at that situation when according to Torah uthi yimi inkinga whenever ngiba nestinga identity masengiluza umsebenzi. So when I will solely, you don't say when I know that the ego yakho winking, and now that's where we clash. When you disregard the school and identity yakho thina sisiformeleyo.
But you keep on saying indlela engikhule ngayo, indlela engilokhunjane ngayo. Mina ngithi kuwe le ndlela okhule ngayo. Ilokhunjane kuwe na.
Inenkinga vele. So into ngisho indlela esikhule ngayo the structure sinenkinga eziningi. But the problem now ukuthi asikhona ukusizizwa. The problem now, right? Asikhona ukuthi sidisregard sonke istructure but there's part of identity yami. Mina like angizazi for example as umuntu wesilisa mawuthi I'm not supposed to protect you. angizazi ezumuntu wesilisa mawuthi I'm not supposed to lead.
So don't you think you can learn to do that? Like I've said,
You
that's why
mentioned-
this nama alarm systems where we live, because avoid the saying put another human being's life manje engcupheni, because hey, I'm a woman. I'm a human being, so too. We are both in danger. So for me to be like, how can you protect? So I'm going to call spam as beginning now. So too. So now there are people breaking into our home, and I'm saying, Puma when I'm window. So now I'm saying, I love you enough because I'd rather have my systems ending it so that it's over safe. So too. Guided, so
situation,
I'm showing you a flaw.
Yes,
I'm showing you a flaw.
Yeah.
Every layer system layer, indota must be a protector.
Yes.
Right?
But the core,
isn't
the flaw is
a human being now
yes.
before other indota.
Yes.
I'm phoning me to peel and nani. Apart from you protecting me, I want you as alive as you are.
Yeah.
So my man is puma when you're begging ngaphandle. Ofe.
So asikhulume mina nawe manje.
Mina ngingalinda
Yes.
ukuthi
Asikhulume mina nawe manje, right? Manje.
Yeah.
Look ID.
Okay.
Right. Now lahlala khona ne-alarm system.
Yes.
Right. Mawuzwa anything ngaphandle. Ubani o expect ukuthi ayenze something.
I do not expect you to do anything.
O expect ukuthi
I don't know. Maybe we can come up with ideas, but
asibe
no,
realistic.
honestly.
Mawuthi baby ngizwa something
No,
ngaphandle.
honestly.
Yeah.
Mina into efike engqondweni nami lokuthi ungayi ngaphandle, and uyazi now, I always say that. Even noma sizwa okukerikeri ngaphandle next door kwenzakala 1 2 3,
Yeah.
you would want to go out, right?
Yeah.
You would want to go out, or you'll find out ukuthi kwenzakalani if there's like a conflict.
Okay.
Or no, don't cut the lens,
Yes.
right? You'd always want to be like, okay, let me go see what's happening.
Yeah.
And me, I'm always like, babe, why? What if something happens? Because sometimes we're at a wrong place at a wrong
Okay,
time.
asuse le example. Angene kundwana endlini. Uthini ngizothi wena i-reaction.
Okay, mina personally, igundane vele ngiyalisaba, guys. Ngiyalisaba igundane.
Mina
It's
ngiyalisaba.
not no, listen. I'm saying mina igundane ngiyalisaba,
Yeah.
right? In fact, I'm animals, guys. I'm so muntu neyilwane, me. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the gender yami.
Yeah.
Right? Bakhona abantu abathanda izinja, for example. I don't like dogs,
Yeah.
but we had to have izinja endlini.
No, asekundwaneni.
Yes, I'm
Asekundwaneni.
coming right
Yes.
there, right? And then inja ngayijwayela makuhamba isikhathi because
Yeah.
you know, so it's rare ukuthi uthwale kunegundwane endlini,
Yeah.
right? And as much as rare, vela ngijwayela ngulibona liphithizela
Yeah.
in the house, but that doesn't necessarily mean ukuthi omunye umuntu esifazane uyalisaba igundwane.
Yeah.
Ukuthi makahlala eyi-1 uzojumpa.
Asikhuluma ngami nawe. Asingaleli.
Ngithi mina as a person, not as a woman, mina
Yes.
as a human being,
Yes.
nginenkinga negundwane.
Yes.
So I'm blessed enough ukuthi ngihlala endlini nomunye umuntu, not a man, nomunye umuntu, because I could say the same thing ngosimo sidlala lisaba igundwane.
Babe,
My son,
I said
guys,
so.
no, can I finish my
Yeah.
point? My son, he's 4, guys. Akalisaba igundwane. There was another incident igundwane ingena endlini, and my son checked it out. He literally picked it up like this. Why is that ungekho wena? Wabuye sengixoxela, I took a video of that.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that
So
mean?
ngithi ngiyabuza mina siba ne discussion.
Yes.
Ukuthi baby alisaba kundwana. Kwanguza.
No, I've never asked
Why?
you. Because why would we have a discussion around that?
Wena alisaba kundwana.
But if you are someone ungangitshela mas.
How into ngoyibaza wena asenze so.
ngiyasho.
Ikundwana imali ngena. Wangangibuza ukuthi how baby wena ikundwana why expectation yakho ukuthi
I've
ukhiphe.
never expected you to I've never. Mina ngikhuluma ngami ngithi mina egundane ngiyalisaba from endlini. Mina okay, let me take it back home from la mina. No.
Alright,
Ngifuna ukubonisa
That
ukuthi lento le has nothing to do nama gender.
Expectation equal.
You see now you're not allowing me to finish.
Expectation to call. That's the
Just not
fact.
mina, I grew up without a dad. Like most of my life, I grew up without a baba. Mama ushade ngina 15. So ngikhule endlini nomamami, umntana sekhaya bekamncane.
Yeah.
So ucabanga ukuthi masingenela amagundwane endlini besilanda abantu because bokungenamalume, bokungenamkhulu, bokungenabhuti. My mom had to tackle the situation. She's a woman. So basically singathi there were 2 females endlini. So mina vele ngikhule ngelisaba igundwane, but I knew ukuthi my mom got this.
Yeah.
My mom would deal negundwane.
Akana choice.
Angalisabi.
Yeah.
Yes, and akana choice also. But beyond that, she was bekangalisabi ngoba bekazenzani? Because mina, if I was in her situation, ngingenelwe igundwane ngwami, say I was a single woman like she was. Kungena igundwane, I probably would have went next door and asked to put banban as on keep igundwane. that's how much ngilisabi igundwane. Mina as a person, not me as a woman ukuthi hey mina ngoba I'm a woman I'm expecting you ukuthi keep amagundwane. No, I'm saying mina as a human being.
Kumama because now we cannot go to mama simbuzo ukuthi yena wathatha leso sibini. Mhlawumbe wathi masaqala mina bengibiza abantu personal until ngifile ukuthi azi ngikhathe
masaqala ngoba I've experienced my mom from birth until she lost my dad until after my dad. Conscious man.
About when you said
no, I believe because maybe ekhuleni kwami bokunobaba she would say no, I'm saying to you
but
come on.
We are speculating.
Umtshali doesn't want to lose a debate.
No, we are speculating into it. Asingayisi kumama because masingabizi mama actually lama experiences akho kufike kanjani.
You don't know that.
Yeah, nama ngiyazi ukuthi asiye.
Manje wayefuna ukushintsha wena ama scenario kungukuthi ngubha le mina ngubha ukuthi mina uma ngam experience as umuntu njani. Makungena igundwane endlini uma ngumdila negundwane. Makaze ukuhusha umama. Even today my younger brother would tell you that. My mom would be the
first one. Into ngisho ukuthi you don't know ukuthi ufike kanjani lapho azabe naleso sibindi leso. Mhlawumbe bekafana nawe exactly. So yiyo ukuthi asimsusu mama because you don't know when uyazi seyifika la strong khona. Awazi ukuthi ungakafiki wena. So okay,
the part where now my that has to do with her being a woman. Because I guess she gets now she's a single woman. So she has to oversee literally everything in the life. Just as much as it's she needs to go out and
see. Yes, so now must two minutes. Makwenzeka lezo zinto lezo ubani
no one
who's
gonna pressure
no
oh
you mean pressure
yes I'm not saying mtshali phuma makune
awuthi mtshali lokhunjana ngeni kundani
I just explained indaba ekundani if bengathabi ikundani mina like we all have our fears
asikhona khona guys
mina angisabi
athi silungisa right khona ezinye izinto because of the expectation yakho njengendoda noma into uyisaba you cannot show that because expectation yakho ukuthi uthoke hold so kulula manje because they theorize yabona manje umkami uthi no ayina expectation nani but ngiyazi mina masithu endlini makwenzeka something ukuthi khona into angayizwa kahle ukuthi ubani umuntu obizwayo ngiyazi ukuthi makumele kuthiwe nali igundwane likhona ubani umuntu omele adile ngaleyo nto leyo
but have I ever put that pressure on you?
You don't have to.
So you are the problem.
Just like ingane endlini.
So you are the problem here.
When afuna ukuhlala ushintsha ingane wenzeni.
But do you think you're the problem here?
Problem naja.
Because you've never communicated with me your fears ngekundwane. So if bowl saba very kundwane ngamampela or feel like no this is going
to
would you put your
I think mina ngithandile
uthi
lezoba ngiyengaphandle ngotela.
Yeah, definitely.
For kundwane.
Absolutely.
So angithi yinto
absolutely we do that.
So when you avoid that, right? Yizwa ke if I'm able ukuthi mina ndomakhelwane ngitshela ukuthi ngisabe igundwane. Awucabanga umakhelwane nawo uthi ubaba owalapha ya umuntu okumele agaya asiqothi ukukhuluma ukuthi asina security system umuntu ogada ekhaya makaqeda ukuthi uzothini ngoba balapha ekhaya ukuthi awukaze sabe ekhaya sabungena kahle hle
abantu bazothini
yizwa ngithini uzothi ekhaya sabungena kuna mhlamba sithi indawo esihlala kuyo enegebelo kude ekhaya mhlawumbe lisabungena lo baba lapha igwala wani sabuya lapha because usaba negundwane
yini into engisho ukuthi wena uzazi igwala uzazi igwala
ngizazi igwala kanjani
mawuthi wena usaba ukuthi bazothi igwala
no ayi ukuthi ngisaba vele injalo mina umuntu othi usaba igwala
so if you believe ukuthi wena uyigwala then it means you are that.
It's not about what I believe.
So ibhubezi awuthathi
ngiyasabi ibhubezi
why
ubhubezi zokudla
oh so ikundandona
but mangathiwa ngene ibhubezi manje indabantwana bami I want it run yiko now mangabona ama situations wabantu makunezimo ezi-extreme abantu abasizayo nawo ukuthi abobani because makwenzeka lezo expectation ukuthini hayi madoda ameneni na unkuku yashabathi mina ngeniphakathi ukhona mama okwenza wena so lo kubumida bathi ongena situation enjalo or bathi badubula umuntu wesifazane
no
ake manje into engisho guys
yasambela phambili that we are the weaker gender
no you are weak vele biologically you are weak
so then what
so yabona structures khona
no I'm not structure who odds when women are weak You are saying
I'm not that.
You are saying
Sexually.
that. No, you are saying
Biologically,
that.
you are weaker than
You
us.
saying that. So it's
You
fine.
saying biologically women are not weak.
Meaning there is nothing a man can do
biologically
that
saying
a
women are
woman
not
cannot
weak.
do. That's my standpoint.
There
is nothing a man can do that a woman cannot do. That's why you
there
have
is.
female soldiers. That's why you have
No,
female
there
police.
is.
That's why you have anybody that the same
No,
thing.
there
But
is.
on duty, same shifts, same
There is.
everything.
That's
there are
why
construction
Mongena-
workers who are
Construction,
women.
yes. Mangena go construction, mangena go police force, mangena go masocho. The total majority is men. If it's ngabela manje in the extreme seat, let's put top 100 of the strongest men, and then or the assist suka madodeni says it's the strongest human beings emhlabeni wonke 100 yabantu. Women wouldn't make that list.
Wow, guys, I can't. Like you sound very sexist right
No, it's not the fact.
No.
You think the strongest women?
You
The strongest
really,
men.
really sound very sexist, and I'm just really.
No, it's factual. That's the thing, guys. It doesn't matter to feel kanjani ngama facts. I don't have to sugarcoat my facts to satisfy you, right? Maskhuluma manje about the strongest men in the world, or the strongest human beings. Ongalifta izinto esindayo. Ayikho intombazane engandlula. Now I'm saying factually 100%. 100 people abangangena kuleyo list, abantu abastrong abangalifta izinto heavy. It will be men because biologically, hence we don't run the same race. You wouldn't see na boxing na anything but put a man na ball na any sport you can think of. They wouldn't put a man and women but compete. No matter the best football player yomuntu wesifazane will be against the best football player yomuntu wesilisa. So by I'm out azobanga ko fair. No mungabheka the best sprinter in the world. Uthathe the best sprinter somuntu wesifazane. Still nalapho uzobu unfair. Hence na the issue ka Kester. Esikhona na esinayo manje bafuna ukumsusa lapha ya. Ukuthi compete nabantu besifazane. Why? Because biology yethu. So inkinga yami nginayo ukuthi guys namaneza nama argument. Ufuna udisregard nama facts just for your argument. Like now you're disappointed with I'm saying to you, masingathi let's put the list yabantu the strongest human beings emhlabeni. Uthi when a woman would make that list. I mean I'm telling you they wouldn't. Because men biologically, physically, they are just strong. At the extreme, we are just stronger than women. Must go extreme, see, yes, you will find that corner band besifazane are stronger than your ordinary man. But must be better to your extreme good now. It's the strongest of men. It's the strongest of women. So back and fair, must not pit against each other. That's the fact. It's not me.
Can you wrap it up?
I see wrap it up.
Yeah.
No, I want our food about facts, but I see from again.
Long discussion. So yeah. Thank you guys
You
for
don't pick
joining
it
us.
on facts. I disregard. But I'm glad with you guys. Now I have access to what must cool mentally. I'm arguments about the kanjani. Even when there's facts in front of us.
Are you done?
I'm tired.
So thank you guys for joining us. If you are new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And yeah, for returning service, thank you once again, guys, for joining us. And yeah, I even forgot what the topic was all about.
Because
this thing just. Oh yeah, it was a discussion around Story Saga Panis and Kambule. So don't forget to check it out. And until next time, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye for now.